beat you to it.
Don't worry, you gotta get the one.
I might have more than 20 bucks. You never know. Don't accept defeat. You got two choices. You can either still hit me up, and I might be in a good mood. See, I thought I was really sorry out there. You can wrestle the 20 bucks from him when I give it to him, or you just meet him in the back alley. Just my turf. You have several choices in strategy. Come on. Yeah. Huh? Okay. Whatever you need to do. Okay. No worries. Understand? Move.
First guy? Starting, right? Josie, right? What's going, right?
Loose. Oh, you schmuck. You can go through, come on. Alright, let's do this. Everybody back up a couple squares. You guys made it through like half the geome, so when we left, when I left off, more or less?
A few steps behind.
You still fine, close enough? Okay. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. Jute, geome. One count, one move. What? Eight. Eight.
Right, here, did that, I didn't know what the. Alright.
One, two. Yes.
I was just gonna ask, I haven't seen her much
Done.
here. I saw you safety patrolling the
That
same
whole
wall.
sequence, gentlemen. One, one, two.
Thank
Eight.
you.
Eight.
She takes them off during karate sometimes because they get super
Huh?
cold when she's coming out and doing karate.
You're right, straight point. Sheet.
We finally got her to have to be pulled up.
Go ahead. 33-30, go.
I'm like, go to teach pencils, you know?
One front, one back.
We'll do.
And then
We never glasses on.
I'm trying to see if I can get a bite video. Alexis, sorry.
I'm gonna say that really depends on the frame. Cause like for me, I have to be at this angle, cause if I try and straighten my arms, they either go wide, which I'm not gonna do, or I have to pinch in. This is just my natural angle. So kind of what I've been telling people is, come on, just turn ish.
I think, what is it built like that? Greg. Greg it up, man. I'm trying to see if we can get him, and now that makes sense.
But what I would cue off of is the shoulder. If they're pinning these two together and doing this, then yeah, I would say get the
Put the shoulders down,
As long as the shoulder's down, I would.
and they kind of have the elbow as, not as far as they can, but a little tight. And then whatever angle comes from there, or
Depends on what you mean by a little bit tight.
like, do you want the elbow to kind of, like sit in, when you do like a middle outside,
Yes.
sit in a little bit in,
Yes.
and then whatever. So this might have a kind of straight alignment than we.
Yes, I can agree with that.
So you almost hit it back.
I thought he did too. All I heard was that thump and I saw his head go.
Ay, 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 Juanito.
Muy malo, muy malo. Fuzz.
How you doing, Frida?
Good.
Alright, let's gonna split up into two rows. You guys take the front row, Reese, you slide over there. Juan, when you're done, go around Juan. your highest kata? I think you said Matsukaze, was that it?
Matsukatsu.
Highest one? Okay. Matsukaze, Jite, Gion.
Yo.
One count, one move, everybody.
Push.
Here you are. Eight. Eight. Halt. Sheet. Go. Rope. Hey. And pull forward. Hey. One and step. Make that all serious. Hey.
That's how far as I got to, sir.
Moving the other way. From here, you're gonna pull two, hook punch. Hey. You're gonna lean the other way. Hey. And hook punch. Hey. Then you step out, Shiko down block. Hey. And you step over Shiko palm here. Hey. Stand up, Yoi, turn palm. Hey. Close the hand. Hikite, hikite. I don't know what you can't all stroke you. Hikite, make a fist. There we go. You can hear? I'm good. Yeah, step over Shiko palm. Hey. All right, you two, Yama. Hey. Hey. Up. Hey. Hey. Go. Rope. Deep. Hey. Good. Good. Hey. Go ahead. You guys pretty much got that much. Good enough. All right, here's what we're gonna do. For the next few minutes, you two on your own gonna work that kata all the way through. You're gonna work up to that point, then I'll add a little bit to it. All right, on your own. Hajime. Was that? Oh yeah, everybody. On your own. Hajime. Everybody's working their own kata. Everybody's doing their own kata. There we go. Lean, like in Jukta. There we go. Good. Knees. And hook punch. Something like punch. Keep going. Got it. Okay, everybody just keep going. We're just gonna work this for a little while.
Okay, I have a question. So, we talked about, function feet. I've been trying to practice that same thing today. So, I didn't know whether to come out, you know, do I set it at the same time?
Okay.
Or
Feet are first-ish.
just high feet?
Oh. You guys get to the end of your kata yame.
What?
All right, one asked a good question back there, and he's not the only one that asked this question, so I thought I would delve into it, because it's been on my mind a little bit lately. Is there, at any point, when we're working technique, that we do the Three Stooges?
No.
No. Right? This is a bad idea, right? So when we're working our technique, whatever that technique is, do we have any technique that does this?
Those are,
No. Yes, it crosses, but nothing blocks our vision, ever. There, where am I? Still a little bit top of it, right? In the places where we do this motion, what is probably the most common bunkai for this?
Come this way?
Well, this hand position. When we do this hand position, 99% of the time, what comes next? Something like that. Something like that. Other than, well, jutei, middle outside life is different. I'm talking about the ones that literally come in front of us this way. Well, because we don't do that when we do this. We don't do that when we do this, right? So what is this hand mostly showing bunkai for? Grabbing the back of the head, right? So, Brandon, he's a little bit shorter than I am, so if I grab the back of his head, it's right where it needs to be. Kenny and I are about the same height. If I grab him by the back of the head, it doesn't really change. Kenny's maybe 2 inches or so taller than Brandon, but my pain position barely changed. Human proportions are pretty much human proportions. And remember, when we're doing these things, what we're doing, primarily what else we need to be doing. Okay? We don't ever want to do this. Okay. Nope. All right, back to it. How'd you?
He's that tall,
All right, Yome, Risa asked a good follow-up question, which I was gonna cover in my spiel just a second ago, and I didn't. What happened if, like, everybody knows Sean Eric, right? This is about 4 inches taller than I am. Can I get the back of his head?
no.
Sure I can. I can reach it. I can physically reach it. Am I gonna do that to him? Absolutely not. Tried it one time, doesn't work. Right? So this is just as bad as this. This is out of position. If they're this tall, to grab the back of the head, can I do this bunkai? Absolutely. But what am I doing? Yeah.
Different target.
Underhook, smash the chest. Smash the chest. How many people been, I mean, right on top of the heart? Come on, anybody? Yeah. It ain't fun. It ain't fun at all. Not the most ideal, especially you get big eye like Sean Eric, big thick chest like that, it takes something to get in there. But it can still be done. So, nothing we do changes for the size of your opponent. The specific target might change. High punch. My high punch isn't ever gonna change, it's gonna be right here. If they're tall enough, they get hit in the face. If they're taller than that, they get hit in the sternum. If they're somewhere in the middle, they get hit in the throat. But I don't do that out of position. Nope. All right, back to it. We gotta get to the end freeze. Okay. Kind of cast an eye up here. From here. Throw behind, the same kind of leaning back stance that we did up there, but throwing behind.
Looking behind as well?
Yeah, following your hand, following this hand with your eyes. Now, we're gonna pull towards this foot into a left fighting stance on that 45. So we're here, we come up into a fighting stance and a supported block this way.
This foot was pulling, so?
That foot pulls, that foot stays. Right. We go that way. No, I'm sorry. Now. We're pinning our left foot to the floor and we're sliding toward that way. And supported block here. Now we're gonna do the exact same thing that way. From here, we're just gonna duck under and throw. Stand up, supported block. There you go. Pull right foot to left, double heat. Feet are together. Yeah. Pulls. All right, add that much. So go back to the palm heel. Right foot's gonna slide behind. You're leaning with your head towards the door, throwing towards that foot. Left foot behind you. Hey. There you go. Bring this one more in front. From the palm heel, as I come across, I'm lifting, throwing. Hey. Then right foot shoots. Hey. 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 Good. You guys got it? Push. Got it sorted? All right, go. Okay, ask your question. Go ahead.
When I'm in this, where, is this at my shoulder, or is it higher?
Are you on the lean or are you
On the
on?
lean.
Well, you need to lean a little bit more. There we go. Right there. About, I would say ear high-ish.
Not like, a down block, but is it like a strike, or is it still bent, your elbow's still bent on?
Yes.
So it's-
All of it. Is it a down block? Yes. Is it a strike? Yes. Because it's a down block and a strike, should your elbow have that slight natural curve to it? Yes.
Good.
I don't want to,
Oh, I
Block
got
the
it.
elbow. Who's One, make those front stances, not fighting stances.
It's kind of a short stance here.
It's
Whatever
got
my
the
natural.
fighting stance, Hansa and fighting stance. Keep in mind, when you're done, I have something I want to comment on.
It may have been an optical illusion from up there. When you're coming up here, you're doing this, and you're coming down. It looked like you were doing this. Make sure you this, if that one slide forward, just make sure you're off. Yeah, that. Same thing. It's the same thing.
Go back, go back, go back, go back, go back. Go on, stand up. Keep going, keep going. There, yes, make that a block. Keep going.
Just to let you know that there should be decisions practicing done.
Absolutely. Thank you for letting me know. You need anything, you know where I'm at.
Thank you.
Brandon, get to the end, yo. Keep going. Keep going. Now, you're right the first time, switch your hands. Good. All right, go on. Just something to think about, up here at the top of the eye, we're leaning here. We talk about practicing the long line to get to the short line. Here, we really want to try and get to the short line. So when I'm here, I pull and go. That's the long line. Nothing wrong with that. It's not really what the cop is trying to teach you in the end. But using that long line is telling you which abdominal muscles to use and when. So when we're here, we're pulling with the lat, pulling with the this one, and then as I come across and pull the oblique, then the rectus and the transverse abdominals. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 going across that. But what Kata really wants you to do is do that while wrecking balling this hand. So when I'm here, I want that same pulling, same abdominal transition, but there. Boom. So on point A, straight rocket shipping right down. But going through that abdominal transition.
Put at an angle,
Like
there.
there.
Yeah, it's going out of my way to do the full thing.
And again, greater scheme of things, not wrong. But what this kata here, in my opinion, is trying to tell you is, it's really starting to teach the dead hand motion. So here, and I'm just talking.
Got a hold of something.
I can see that, not my personal preference. My personal preference is I slid under here, hit him in the groin, and that one smashing him in the face on the way.
And it'll take a lot, pull you down from that.
It really depends on what you did with this. Depending upon what you did from the high punch to here, I can absolutely see that as a throwing type motion. But it really depends on how you're envisioning this setup.
I don't know, I'll play with it later.
No, let's explore it a little bit, because I never really thought about it as a throw, because I just like that dumping hand motion.
If you somehow have that.
I would say if you got here as an underhook. So if Brandon here, he did something with this hand, whatever this is, and as I came in here, or if I came in, if I relax, got in here and manipulate the shoulder, yeah, this would be a good motion for the shoulder, that way. But, yeah, no problem about it. Thank you for that. Yeah, it really depends on where you ended up. But yeah, I've used that underhook on the shoulder before, I just never associated it with Jewel. Alright, back at it. Keep going. More horizontal, not quite so much underneath. I still want to maintain a middle inside lock here and then come back. So I would say just enough drop to get the back fist rolling, but not so much that I've gone underneath and I'm coming back up and scooping it up. Like that. Okay, one, pattern is fine. I want to see more timing. All I'm seeing is go. I want to see Juan's touch, Juan's timing. You can get to the end for you. Okay. From here, right foot, left foot, Kosudachi, X block, step back, front stance, out. I'm gonna back up off the mirror a little bit, you guys.
So we
just-
make a move like you just did,
Yeah,
just together for
boom,
now?
yep. And step forward, cat stance, double middle, cat stance X. This is pinky side forward so that we have our the back of our hands are facing towards each other. Right hand is gonna roll underneath an up 45 hammer fist. Up 45 hammer fist load. Uppercut on top of the back of my hand. It looked like you scooped. No scoop, just straight uppercut. No? Alright. Let's go back and do that much. So we're here in our double hikite. Right foot, left foot, drop. Step back, out. Step, double middle. Step, X. Right hammer fist up 45. Left hammer fist up 45. Pinky side up. Make a cat sense. I don't know what that nastiness is. And then uppercut on top of your back of your hand. Go. So from the double hikite, work that series a little bit. How'd you mount? Step back, right front stance, in and out like much cutting. Steps double middle, step high X. Right hand fist underneath, left hand fist underneath the hikite, and uppercut. So, all right, young man. Everybody, young man. Let's talk about this a little bit. It will pertain to you guys more kata-wise when you get here, but it pertains to everybody more or less. We've done this motion before, right? X block, everybody's seen this before. The eternal question. Thumbs and pinkies in line with my eyes, or thumbs and pinkies in line with each other? Which is it?
In line with the eyes.
Line with the eyes. Okay?
I feel just as much strength either way, so,
Okay?
the way you say it.
Okay?
I was gonna say it depends.
It always depends.
Not like this.
Oh, oh God, no, never this. No, God, ooh, that hurts my head just thinking about it. Why does it depend though? Or on what does it depend?
For me, it would be the target and what your intention is.
There you go. Because we do this in Matsukage.
Who's,
Palms are down. Right?
who's,
Why?
You grab.
Because we're striking into the neck and we're grabbing and we're about to choke this person.
who's,
We're not blocking. Everybody will call this an X block. It's a teaching crutch,
but in Yandan, it's,
but in Yandan, it's this.
who's,
In Jion, it's this. Why?
The application.
Right. Specifically why though?
I didn't hear what you said.
He said the application, which,
Oh, okay.
okay? In Matsukaze, I'm choking.
Who's,
In Yandan and Jion, am I choking here? No.
Striking.
Striking or blocking?
Feels more like blocking.
Feels more like blocking, okay, I can buy that. Why do I not want to block this way? Why?
You have no strength. Everything will come back at you. I mean, if
A lot
you,
of strength.
well, if you,
Let's explore, yeah. I understand what she's saying, so, yeah, keep going.
which way? If you hit this way? Is that how we took that way?
Well, no, you keep with your thought process, it's a good thought process, and it will elicit more
Well,
thought.
I wouldn't have as much strength as I could. If my, it makes my elbows set over
Alright.
here. Here, I think I'm more loose.
Okay?
Because, well, I believe it's more the angle of the arm. It's, when you're doing it at this angle, you've basically got this entire muscle already pointing downward. So when you're doing this block, and you try to do it against, I don't know, when you're trying to block an attack, if it's coming from above, then your arms are already practically pushing themselves down rather than blocking the strike.
Okay,
To take a stab at it. If we're blocking here, you're already setting yourself up for the next move, which is for me, is I'm gonna roll my wrist that way anyway and grab.
I can buy that 100% too.
I have nothing, sir. So.
Okay, that's fine too. You guys aren't wrong in what you're saying, but that's not what we're doing for Yondan and Gion. Straight up this way. Okay. This is not the direction of Yondan and Gion, because you're right. If I'm going here, he's coming into my neck, yeah, he's got strength. But if I'm coming this way, there's nothing there. But this is not the angle of Yondan and Gion. Yondan and Gion are here, this way. Right? Now turn your pinkies turn this way. Okay. Strength difference, little bit weaker here in my opinion, for the reasons that you were saying. Here, you're engaging more tricep and back here, a little bit more here, right? No. But the biggest thing is the surface area. If I'm catching something this direction, and I catch it on these two little bones, where there's nothing, you talk about when we're blocking. Then, as Ken was saying, what comes next? Yeah, he's already halfway there. He's here, he takes that shot, see what happens to these when he kind of shock absorbers that? He starts to get out of alignment a little bit. It makes this not quite as ideal as, yeah, he's got that arm bar all day long. As long as he's quick enough before I pull it out. But yeah, absolutely. So, when we're doing these motions, think about what it is we're doing. Matsukase, we're striking into the neck. We've got to get into that gap and start choking. Yondan, Gion, we're getting into blocking. Now, to kind of add something to what you guys were saying, you can use this in a striking motion, kind of like you guys were describing. But it's more this way than it is that way. So if I'm going to, this kind of thing, but I still want this. If I do this, oh, they just, so they can sort of kind of be interchanged a little bit for similar bunkai. But the key is if I'm blocking, I want thumbs and pinkies in my direction of travel. If I'm going to start choking and grabbing, more than likely I'm going to be palms and pinkies in line with each other. All right, back at what you were doing.
Close.
Think about it this way. Where am I at? Oh, I've blocked this arm. I'm going to come up, strike him in the armpit, strike him in the other armpit, punch him in the throat as he comes down. So that's the angle that I want. I want up into the armpit. Bow, bow, bow. Close. Okay, on the, think about targeting up into the armpit, don't bring them too high. Yeah. Well, don't force it on top. I'm kind of like laying on the 40, yeah, right in there.
Push! Hey!
Is this a straight move into the block?
Push!
Maybe not that straight. I still, well, you still want a kind of an up catching motion. So from here, as I come forward, I'm kind of collapsing, kind of a half PPK, I guess, for me. That kind of thing, yeah. You guys, yeah, one, go ahead. You guys get to the end of your contact, go ahead. But, alright. Kind of expecting one of you to ask this question, but you didn't, so I'm gonna throw it out there. We were talking earlier about not doing this, right? So when we're doing this, based on this bunkai, right, there's no reason for me to do this, right? I would not do this with Sean Eric, right? Could I do this at my level, my height level, against Sean Eric? Sure. Would it do anything other than really annoy him as I hit him under here? Probably not. Right under the pectoral musculature, right about level with the diaphragm, there are some nice pressure points that you could get into here, but somebody that size is just going to annoy him. So plan B at that point. But Sensei, you said that this is a block and you're blocking your face. Sure. Well, you're looking right over the top of your block. How are you protecting your face? Rising block goes way up here. Why don't I want to do way up here?
Well, you're already straining your muscles. I mean, when somebody hits it, you're practically already expending your energy by lifting your arms up here.
You should not be, this is not how you're doing this block. This block literally is like a slightly higher middle outside block. I'm not fully extended here. You should not be fully extended in Yondan or Jion.
So we can see over your hand?
That I'm looking, basically I'm looking between my hands.
Question would be, what are you blocking? I think it's not something coming right at your head.
Right? That's kind of the thought process I'm looking for. Let's elaborate on that. So what are you blocking? Is he blocking this? No, he is not. Why would he block this? This isn't anywhere near him.
Why would you aim for that?
Yeah, why would I aim for that? Why would he be that far away? If I've got a stick in my hand, he better be doing something else, because he's gonna eat that one. Okay? We're not talking at this point really about, well, we are, but we aren't. This is not where we block, right? This is where we block, right? So if I'm coming in here, just don't move. And I lay in here, you block. If it's a straight punch, you gotta block. So it's in the angle and in the body mechanics of what's going on here. my punch is this, yeah, he's gonna lose that. He should have been doing something else. But fairly even proportions, even coming off of like here. Yeah, it might scrape the top of your head, big deal. Oops.
If you're catching a shoulder and way
Way
early.
early. Yeah, absolutely. So there's one thing, okay, everybody in the beginning, yeah, just give me a step in the middle punch. In the beginning, everybody wants to be here, right? It's comfortable. Okay. Why would I block that? Okay. Everybody in here has sparred me at one time or another. Do I even waste my time if I know you're that far away? No, I just stand there and look at you and do something else, okay? Here is where I'm blocking. From about one fist below his elbow to his shoulder is where I want my blocks to be. And as Ken so rightly pointed out, if it's coming over the top, I want this one. How many of you can see this? He's coming over the top with something,
He's gonna eat it.
twofer. Nope. Same thing, we talk about sashite with the rising block. This is sashite when you koso. Nope. So again, principle remains the same. I don't wanna be looking here, don't need to. Nope. Yeah, if they're like Sean Eric, he's gonna throw punch level with his shoulder, no, I'm not gonna do this. Because he's now tall enough where he has a straight line for me, and I would need to do something else. What is that something else? My normal rising block. One block line, one punch line, one kick line. Something.
If you were doing that same block
Uh-huh.
on him and then you know, went up like this, you know, to block him, would you grab, you know, to come behind him and maybe do a throw or?
If I was doing like that under the shoulder,
Mhm.
absolutely. For me, this outside hand is gonna go for the shoulder, and then I'm gonna start working throws and grapple, and probably some leg sweeps from there.
That's what I saw.
As Ken was demonstrating earlier, the farther down the arm you come, then it turns into arm lock.
Was-
Same concept though. Same. Alright, back at it. You guys get up here, freeze, at the end of the car. Cat stance. Hammer fist, uppercut. Okay, from here. You're gonna do a rear leg turn, cat stance, middle outside block, step Sanshin punch. Front leg turn, cat stance, step Sanshin punch. Don't drop straight down, inline Shiko down block. Boom. Step over Shiko uppercut. Walk over uppercut. Shiko uppercut. Move. Do that much. Sanshin, Sanshin.
What?
Sanshin, Sanshin. There you go. Boom. Uppercut, uppercut, uppercut. Middle outside block. Sanshin punch. Cat stance, middle outside block. Step Sanshin punch. Shiko down block. Walk over Shiko uppercut. Shiko up, excuse me, uppercut as you walk over. And Shiko uppercut. Boom.
What? What?
When you get to the end of your kata, young man,
What?
you fly when we haven't started. Not quite so stiff and small. I mean, little bigger. Thumbs in before I come get them. More like an anku. Yeah. A lot of good bone right now. Alright, young man. Questions on anything? Katas you guys learning, whatever?
How far are we?
You're
Still got a
like
ways to
6
go?
moves from the end. You're almost there. Yeah, once you get, yeah, I would say Jion is the beginning of the forever kata. And then you get Kosoken Dai, which is the never-ending kata. And then you get the Superempe, which is the please God kill me, let this end kata. Because it's as long or longer than any other kata we have, but it's like the same 6 moves repeated over and 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 over again.
So infinity cycle kata, basically?
Not quite that bad, not quite that bad, but close. It's one of those, if you're having a bad day doing Super Empe, oh,
And is that an often kata in which you sometimes forget the mix of counting similar to Roboho? Oh, no, just.
slow it down a little bit because it went right by me. So, again, please.
Is it one of those katas in which
Mhm.
you can sometimes lose track of counting within the repeated moves?
Yes, absolutely. That's the bad thing about Super Empe. It has so much repeating that if you're having a bad day or if you get really into, what are you doing, Juan?
Just testing on my punches.
Okay, well, that's fine, just let me know what you're doing back there before you get a little squirrely. Yeah, you'll let, okay, did I do the third one, am I on the fourth one? Yeah, absolutely. Were you thinking of a question, or what were you working?
No, it's just, when I was doing after this dance,
Huh?
when I was trying to accelerate the rhythm,
Okay.
so to speak,
Okay? Yes.
I often found myself, finding it a bit difficult to keep my balance in the process.
Right, why is that? That was one of the things I was gonna bring up here toward the end. Why is that?
Stance. Too narrow.
What about his stance?
Too narrow.
Why is it too narrow?
He's getting ahead of himself.
Getting ahead of yourself. You're literally falling into the motion instead of placing a foot and pulling yourself into the motion. So once you're here and you've done all of this, you're literally just dumping yourself in there. So you end up narrowing, you end up off balance. You're here, place the foot, pull yourself into your stance. Any other questions before I add the last thing? Okay, Juan was asking another good question which bears some repeating because I see it a lot in the kids. and it drives me insane. I see it in you guys, the greater you guys, more often than I would like. What is the angle of attack for a Shuto? At what angle am I intercepting whatever it is that I'm intercepting?
45 degrees.
We got one vote for 45.
I got my map.
Huh? Your answer stands. We got one vote for 45.
The angle of our, you said the angle of our shooter.
The angle of the Shuto.
Alright, let's
Okay,
agree.
okay, two votes for 45.
So the angle of the Shuto within the attack stance, correct? I know what you just said.
Doesn't matter stance, but
Oh,
sure.
so the angle of the Shuto, it'll be 45 then.
Okay, that's 3 votes for 45. What do you say?
Wait,
I do not
Give
have
an
an
answer.
answer, Sensei.
Sorry?
I do not have an answer.
You don't have an answer. Okay, then tell me what you were doing when you were doing Matsukaze, what angle were you using? Because there's your answer as to what you were doing. So what angle is that? What angle of attack is that? That's straight.
Yes.
Okay. 45. What do you think will happen if I drive my hand this way into Ken's chest? I'm gonna slightly annoy him and I'm gonna break my wrist. Ask me how I know that. Okay. Shuto attacks on the 45. Shuto does not push this way. Wrist is straight when it attacks. It is not bent when it attacks. Okay? For my middle outside block elbow, I open it and I turn it over. This is my Shuto. My body refuses to let me do this. This is not a Shuto. You might get away with this once. This, at full power, you're gonna break this finger and this wrist, and probably dislocate your elbow. Doing that. Shuto is short range. Shuto's not reaching. No? Too long. Too long. Bring that elbow in. Still too long. There, better. Now, straighten the wrist. There you go. We'll work on that. Well, I mean, next week we'll work Shuto a little bit.
I found myself overreaching also.
I understand. It happens. We've all been there, we've all done that.
Well,
I'm trying to save you guys some of the pain that I went through, because literally, I did that one time. Because I'm like, oh, he's far away, I wanna shoot on. I knew better. And I learned real quick. Luckily, it didn't shatter, but it did dislocate. And it was quite painful trying to drive. Anybody ever try and drive with your forearms? I don't recommend it.
I'll get that bone there.
Only eating taco.
What?
They're only one eating a taco.
Oh, no, you I'll give you that. Okay, so remind me next week, we'll finish Gion, literally, I think we're 6 moves from the end, and we wanna work Shuto. Some more, alright, right where you are, Sretsu. Call it.
Kosuke, Sonny, right? Yoshini, right? Otsugani, right?
ありがとうしました。終わってね、go home.
Let's
Moose.